just two little things before we start. Please ignore most of the footage that's gonna play in the back of this video. I'm traveling for the holidays and forgot my drive where I keep a ton of nice B-roll footage, so we're just gonna watch the crazy mods I'm trying out these days because that's all I have with me right now. I'm also recording on a crappy old microphone, so if I sound even worse than usual, you know why. Okay, let's get started. So a couple months ago I launched a small website for STALKER mods, more specifically STALKER Story Mods. I'm not gonna go over all the reasons and details explaining why again, you can go check my crash out in the first video I did about it, but to summarize very quickly, there's a lot of amazing community-made story mods that any STALKER fan should give a chance to. Let's say you just finished the original games or even STALKER 2, you love the franchise, the universe, and you just want more of it. Here you have two choices. Either you go towards the big open world modifications like Anomaly and the mod packs built on top of it, like Gamma, to cite one of the most popular ones, but there are a lot of other interesting options you can try that might fit your playstyle better. I've got two videos covering the main ones if you want to check them out. They all tend to focus on improving the gameplay, the graphics, adding lots of new weapons and customization, but at the core, they're all open world, free roaming, make your own adventure type of experiences. And generally they hide their lack of substance, let's say, behind thousands of fetch quests and mindless grinding, which can still be extremely fun. I mean, half of this channel is covering Anomaly and its children. It's not like I'm not enjoying it, but I understand there's also people looking for more. The other option available to you is story-based, story-focused mods. I think it's easier to picture the story mods as standalone games that take place in the STALKER universe. Their quality varies, of course. Being fan-made modifications, there's a bit of everything out there, but a lot of them are absolutely excellent. So good they could pass for unofficial expansions or DLCs to the original games. And they offer, well, the opposite of the big open world mod packs. They tend to be shorter experiences that are much more linear in terms of gameplay and progression, but they have brand new questlines to discover, an actual original brand new story to follow. That's the whole point. And they can be very well written and crafted with fully voiced characters, cinematics, cutscenes, crazy good atmosphere, and new lore to discover. Enough for some of them to be considered classics everybody should play, and a perfect extension of the base game if you just want more STALKER. So you might ask, okay, that's cool, but where do I find these mods? What files do I need? Do I need the original games? Which ones are the good ones? And the answer is, unfortunately, it's complicated. Generally, it's gonna take a lot of scrolling on ModDB, recommendation threads on Reddit, the C-consciousness spreadsheet, weird, outdated charts that are more confusing and overwhelming than useful, dozens of broken links and weird files to download on Russian websites, and more recently, lots and lots of Discord servers, which are, in my opinion, the worst way to search, find, and preserve information. So that's why I made this website, to at least consolidate the mods I played and reviewed and think are worth playing, with all the files, links, and information you need to make them work all in one place. Okay, this was a very long introduction I said I wouldn't do. I'm sorry, but there are so many cool mods made with so much love and work by the community. It's a shame they're not played more. Some are, but yeah, not enough. Anyways, back to the main subject of this video, which is supposed to be what's new on the website. I improved the page a bit and finally added a feature I had in mind since the beginning, which took a lot of work and I'm very excited about. So let's go over all that. And I swear I am done working on the website after this, and I'll just focus on playing, reviewing, and adding more cool content and mods to it. So first, for the people that don't want to see mod grades or my video reviews and just want to pick mods to play based on their description, which is fair, all the mods on this page are worth it. I had two buttons to hide everything. They're still here, I just moved them next to the search bar. That was mainly to make some room for the new big feature I'm talking about. We'll get there soon. In Essentials, I added a resource tab, so you still have the recommended files to install to make sure a lot of these old school projects run properly. It will always say in the mod descriptions if you need something in there, but my advice is still to take 5 minutes to install everything and be done with it. it if you plan on playing story mods regularly. And now in resources, it's more of a reminder of a lot of good places you can check to find new mods. Because let's be clear, I'm never gonna cover everything on this website, and I'm only sharing the mods I'm personally enjoying. So it's always nice to know other good, trusted places to look for new and different things. It might sound obvious and might not be super useful, but I wanted to add a small portal to the outside world on the page. And that leads me to the final new feature, the interactive mod map, which goes exactly in that direction, this idea of being a portal to the broader Stalker universe kind of thing. I think mods have a real discoverability issue in general. There's no point in having so many cool mods and an active community if it's so hard to find them and have an easy way to see what's available. So that's a quick tool to try to help with this. Here you can see a lot of relevant mods, how they are connected and where they come from, with simple categories to know what's what. And when you click on any of them, you have a quick description and direct links to learn more and download the files. This is obviously not all the mods available. I'm gonna slowly keep adding new ones, especially story mods, if they're worth talking about. And this chart is obviously heavily simplified. For example, if we want to find Gamma, we go to Call of Pripyat, Call of Chernobyl, Anomaly, and Gamma is here, with a description and a direct link to the mod page. And it's a good example to see how simplified the chart is, because technically Anomaly should be under Last Day arguably should be under Call of Misery should be under Misery, and so on. But if you start wanting to show every single link and historical connection, it becomes a giant tangle mess, which is exactly the opposite of the whole point of this chart, to visualize everything in a simple, clear way. So I choose readability rather than overwhelming accuracy, let's say. I wanted some kind of middle ground between the Sea Consciousness spreadsheet, which is a great list of tons of story mod available and more, but can be very overwhelming at the beginning. At least I know I was when I heard about it and opened it for the first time. And also these charts that I'm sure some of you stumbled upon at some point, which are definitely useful somewhat. I actually discovered some cool mods thanks to them, but you never really know if they're updated. They can be very confusing and have some very dubious description sometimes. And that's it pretty much. After writing so many descriptions for every single mod, this took so much time, my brain kind of turned into mush. So if you find some that are not super accurate, or just think you have a much better way to describe your favorite mod succinctly, in a cool way, please let me know. I'll gladly change the description. And as usual, if you see any big mistakes, you can contact me in the About section and I will fix it. That's the whole point of this chart, the ability to keep it alive, update it regularly, add and remove mods, fix mistakes and descriptions, add Stalker 2 to it at some point, maybe when we start having full overhauls, story mods for it, one day hopefully, we'll see. I've had this idea in mind since the beginning of making the website. It's not perfect, it still needs some work, but I'm happy it's finally out, and hopefully it will be useful for some of you. And I feel it works well to have a highly curated list of mods with everything you need on a silver platter pretty much, which is the main page of this website. But because by nature this page will be very slow to update and never reflect the whole scope of mods available, having a little tool like this interactive mod maps, by the way, if you have a better name let me know, to explore and discover new stuff by yourself in an easy way, it is pretty nice too. At least I hope so. I don't know, I need to shut up. Okay, I'm out. That was my last video of the year. I need to take a break. Happy holidays everyone, and I'll see you back soon. Cheers.